Hey y'all. All right. It's late at night, but I told myself I'm determined to do at least one video a week. And I don't even know what path we going down, but we're gonna figure it out. So, week one, um, I don't know, y'all. First off, let me introduce myself for those that don't know. My name is Ash Low. That's ASH hyphen LO. And I never really did an introduction video about myself, who I am, and all that good stuff. Um, mm, Maybe I'll save that. Maybe I'll save that once I get a bigger audience, community. I don't know. Or I could. I don't know. I'm on YouTube trying to figure it out. I don't know why every year or every so often I get on YouTube and act like I don't know how this goes, because I'm fully aware of how YouTube works and the things you should do and not do and all this good stuff. But I think this particular video, I want to make it about, well, before I talk about what it, and in the title won't include what this video is about anyway, but I do know that, I don't know, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I do know I want to test different things out. I do know I don't want to be put into a box when it comes to YouTube content. I am going to try. I don't want to talk about it. I want to be about it. So part of me wants to tell y'all the different type of things that I plan, like mentally would like to do. But then the other part of me is like, I should just do it. And y'all gonna see once it's up. It's nothing all spectacular. It's really just gonna be things that's already a part of my lifestyle. Especially, of course, I'm going to continue to do, like, when it comes to reviews, when I get new wigs and stuff, because I do know, like, the previous content I posted in the last week or so was about my hair, and it's still the same wig. This lace. This ain't really supposed to be about hair, but this is a frontal, right? Right. And I can't believe I just showed that, but then again, it's me. I think I'm about to go back to, look at that. I can't even, but I just want to let y'all know, for those that know about the hair, that I just use freeze spray, and it's the end of the night. I'm about to get ready to go to bed and all that good stuff, so I'm not tripping about it lifting up, because that's what I actually want. But I'm about to go back to closures, because this is a frontal, and yeah. But anywho, I am going to continue when I get new wigs or change my hairstyle. I am going to get better at posting that, but there's some other things. But as far as for this first video, for my week, first video for the year, I want to talk about my relationship with God. I want to, because some of y'all may not have seen my hair review videos. And then I did get a few subscribers off my hair review videos about this wig, because people just like my personality. And I love when people say they like my personality, because I'm just a real person. I've always been that way. My family, my mama, she always just raised me to be honest. And as I got older, she even said that I'm too honest. And yeah, I just believe in just being real. So I may call this Ash Low for real. I may call this the Ash Low for real segment videos. I don't know. But this particular video, I want to talk about my relationship with God. Honestly, the end of 2022, I feel like, especially when, short recap, 2022, I don't know if I said this on video, because I talked to a lot of people. 2022 was like an awesome year for me. It really was awesome. But then a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot, but quite a few tragedy moments happen in my life in 2022. You know, I had to question a few relationships that were very near and dear to my heart, and people that I considered close. Had to question that in 2022. However, great things happened in 2022 too. Like, I was able to meet some of my favorite people in the world, and you know, hit some, I don't want to say milestones, but hit some like high moments in my professional life. So with life, you know, I always say good things happen to bad people, bad things happen to bad people, good things happen to good people, bad things happen to good people. And at the end of 2022, I don't know what it is about December. I don't know if it's because my birthday's in December, because December is just the end of the year or what, but it's always like December starts off great for me and then ends not so good. And December 22, first week, celebrating my birthday, celebrating life. It was all cool, but I also did go through like a breakup, which I always, since 2020, it's always a breakup in December. I remember December 2020, had my birthday, was dating someone, had a car accident, breakup right before Christmas. December 2021, one of my on and off again. I'm giving y'all details that y'all shouldn't even know about. But December 2021, boyfriend, have a birthday cool, come back, breakup happens. And then December 2022, have a birthday, celebrate my birthday, the day of my birthday, the night of my birthday, break up with this person. And that was like the snowball effect. The breakup happened, and then of course, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I really like you, I really care, like, and I don't be with the drama. So breakup happened with somebody that I'm really feeling, really care for. I was so in love. I can't sing. I don't even know why I did that on camera. But that happened, and then, you know, I'm trying to bounce back, and I'm still working, and then somebody break into my car, and it's like that happened. And then just thinking about my relationship with my family and how I view myself in this world. Like, pretty much when Christmas came, I was depressed, and I guess it's called like seasonal depression. I really hate subscribing to things in my life, but I guess I had seasonal depression, air quotations. And for like a week straight, I'm just, especially Christmas Day, I was just crying because it was not how I expected it to be again. And then I guess I was triggered because I know in 2021, I was crying on Christmas and Christmas Eve. 2022, I was crying on Christmas and Christmas Eve. And then, you know, for Christmas 2022, it's like the same thing. So I was triggered, traumatized, and for like a week straight, just sad and depressed and just wanted to be alone. Now, I'm not gonna act like there weren't people that reached out. I did have family members and friends that reached out and said, you know, Merry Christmas. I even had one friend, she was like, you know, I'm cooking. If you want to come over, you're more than welcome to come over. And I just didn't. I just was in a spot where I questioned God. Like, I was just like, God, wow, like, what's good? And honestly, I know, you know, the good Christians say you're not supposed to question God and all that. And I'm at an age where I feel like you should question God. I feel like with my relationship with God, I had to just have a moment, because I have, you know, I have great friends that I, you know, consider family. And I have those people in my life. And I'm like this too, where I feel like if whatever you want to talk about, reach out to me. Like, you ain't got to go through it alone. Like, you can talk and vent to me and all this other stuff. And I have people in my life that's just like that. Like, they don't want to, hear that I'm sad, or they don't want me to feel like I'm going through something alone. However, that week I didn't want to talk to nobody because I felt like my problems or issues, the things that I was going through, the feelings and emotions that I was going through, I had to just deal with them. And I feel like sometimes, no matter who you talk to or no matter what you do, whether if you eat through the pain or retail therapy or, just going to actual therapy, sometimes you just really have to just sit in the emotion and just figure it out some kind of way. Like, really, not necessarily figure it out, but feel those emotions and not just do something to I don't want to use the words overcompensate, but do something to try to get over what the core issue is. And mind y'all, I am nobody of a medical background, no therapist, none of that. I'm just speaking on me, myself, and how I feel, how I operate, how I live my life. I don't have the answers. I'm just sharing my story with me because sharing my story with me. Sharing my story with y'all because I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way. And a lot of times we suffer in silence. There's a lot of people that be going through stuff and just keep it to themselves. Or they may share it, but they don't know how to articulate it. Or sometimes they don't share like the root of everything. Or deep down. They sometimes just share like surface level type stuff, but don't share like those real raw emotions. And during my week of what I call it, not detachment, but disconnecting, I just really felt like I had to disconnect. And I do this not often, but I have my times where if I feel like just the weight of the world is on me, I want to disconnect. And because I feel like when I truly disconnect from everything and everybody, it's no longer noise. Like, I don't hear the noise. Like, I can truly connect with God and truly hear God out. And I have to just be honest with myself, like with the crying and going and asking, talking to God in that moment and in those days where I disconnected. I realized that, I had to take accountability for my actions. Like, some of the situations that I were thinking about, and taking accountability is like, okay, with the relationship situation and that ending or me having to end it is like, I did see red flags at the beginning, but I tried to paint this person different. What I always do, I always try to paint a person in a better light than just accepting who they are and not putting myself in a situation I shouldn't be in because I want to be in it, And then also another thing I had to take accountability on is, even though in 2022, throughout the year, every morning I wake up, say my prayers, but I'd be on some thank you, Jesus, thank you, God, blessing me, protecting me type stuff. But throughout the year, I felt like, and this is me taking accountability at the end, me just really analyzing my year, I didn't really just take time out to just really just talk to God outside of those like challenging times. Like, I feel like the most time I really just talk to God is when I'm going through challenging stuff. But when life is good, it's kind of like I be on some, oh, I'm good. Like, God, you can take the backseat. Like, I'm good. Even though like every day I show, gratitude, or I give gratitude in my prayers, but on a more deeper connection, I wasn't really depending on God as much as I should have. And it's kind of like all that spiritual warfare caught up with me at the end of the year. And I just want to get better at that. Like, that wasn't fair to me or God, because at the end of the day, God is just not some genie that just pop up and grant us our wishes and desires. Like, it's work with having a relationship with God. So I came to a conclusion. Me talking to myself and talking to God, that I just want my life to, oh, not me biting my cheek. I just want my life to be God's will. That has really been my prayer, and I've been challenging myself to, and I don't want to use the word challenge because I don't want this to sound negative, but I just been want to make sure I make time for God daily, and not some just microwave prayer, done in 30 seconds, like, thank you God, I'm good, move on by my day. But like, actually setting my intentions and constantly asking God, is this your will? Praying over my life, praying over situations, praying over my next move. It's like, I don't want to be a part of something or be with someone or go somewhere if God is not in it. So that's been, I'm not going to say a challenge because it's still January. Like, today is literally the 8th. It's about to be the 9th because this video is like, it's 11 p.m. at night. But I told myself, challenged myself to still make this video because I said I want to make a video every week. But yes, I told myself I want my life to be God's will, because of course I believe in my life is God's plan regardless, or I want my life to be God's plan. But y'all can, I don't want to say argue with me in the comments, but we can discuss this in the comments. I think there's a difference between God's plan and God's will. It could be the same thing, but in my brain right now, I am really feeling that there's a difference between God's plan and God's will. And I've been praying on, I just want situations to come to me and it be God's will. So if y'all view that to be two separate things or two of the same things, let me know in the comments. But yeah, really working on reestablishing my relationship with God. Not to say, like I said, it wasn't a strain. It's not like I was out here just walking around like, oh, I don't know God, or not giving God, grace and thank you and all that stuff, or not knowing that God is giving me grace and saying thank you and all that. Because if people know, I always say, thank you, Jesus. Like, I've been very grateful. I think a lot of people that know me, I'm very grateful for the things that I have. God, saving me, protecting me. However, I think my relationship is just more to that. So really been working on that. It's also it's a challenge when you don't have all the answers, and that's another thing. I like to be, for a nice amount of my life, been in leadership roles, and I like to be in control. And when you walk in with God, you can't be in control. It's like, God is like, you gotta pick and choose. Either you gonna do, where they say like God give us free will, or you let God, So I'm just trying to, I don't ever know the future. None of us know what the future may hold. Only God in the universe. And that's another thing about me. Tussle in the comments. Don't come for me. Don't even tussle with me. But I believe God, universe. Some days I may get on here and say the universe. I may say God, Jesus. To me, it's all the same. It's a higher being that I know that's out there, that's in control, working together. Like, to me, it's all the same. Once again, we could talk about this in the comments, but when I say universe, God, energy, vibes, I might say angels, I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all. Y'all know what I mean. Put your word in that blank, and we talking about the same thing. We talking about the same thing. So I'm really interested to see how 2023 will go for me. I am praying because I also feel like God know my desires. Like God know I really want to be married. Or it ain't even necessarily about marriage. It's just I always thought I would have like the sweetheart. Like I would always have, like when I was in high school, I always thought I would have a high school sweetheart. That didn't happen. Then when I went to college, I thought I would have the college sweetheart. That didn't happen. And then when I went to after college, like or grad school, thought I would just, have that love of my life. And it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. And I always thought by this age I would be married with kids, and I am single with a nice house. And I am always wiping my nose on camera. Excuse me, y'all. Okay, that was really fast. But that hasn't happened yet. And I refuse to just let this world make me feel like it won't happen for me, because it will. It really will. I just have to be patient. And that was another thing I had to, talk to God about and realize that I'm so focused on love, and this is not my season. Like God, you basically have shown that it is not my season for love. Like to be with, someone. This is probably my season of self-work. This is my season of fixing my finances, my financial situation, or elevating, myself. I want to live a certain lifestyle. And when you want to live a certain lifestyle, but the bank account not matching to it, it's like something gotta give, sis. And here I go, all focused trying to be in love and under somebody when I need to be focusing on how to triple, quadruple this income so I can be on a yacht somewhere shaking my tail feather. That's not what I wanted to say, but that's the clean version of what I wanted to say. But for real, you have to also, saying all that to say, you have to realize that if you don't know, life comes in seasons. Like we all have our seasons. So I just feel like this season is a season where I really want to reconnect with God, and I just want to be so in tune where not only I know me and God is like this, but I also know that I can have a clear direction of my intuition, and trust myself, like really trust myself with my decisions, because sometimes I'll make a decision and having the gut feeling of you shouldn't do this ain't a smart idea, but still moving forward with doing it because I'm like, oh, it'll work out. Like, it's not so bad. It'll work out. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Always get me. It always get me. It always get me. But when you get older, you do better. So I am just right now just working on like identifying, and this is probably like my self-work. I'm identifying I'm identifying the things in my life that I know I want to work on, and just realizing that I just gotta trust God's timing. Like God's timing is always perfect. It ain't never on our time, but it's always perfect. And I can give the example with my job. I can just give the example like pretty much with my career. Me wanting things or wanting to work for certain companies, but then not realizing, like looking after the fact, oh, it took me having these qualities to work for this company or be in this role and stuff like that. And I just feel like with the quality of a relationship that I want and a partner I want, I know that there are still qualities and skills on a personal level that I still need to work on. That way I can be a full, partner. The things that I want in my partner, they see it in me. And it's not like we're equals. It's not that I only brought 50% of what they need and they have like 75%, and it be a clash and an issue. And not to say like when you get to people, you have to be, or you get your partner, you have to be 100%, but you have to be enough, or at least equal enough, and then build towards something else. So I'm still work in progress. And I think life constantly, I'm about to say a word and I hope I don't say it wrong. I'm trying to say it in my head first. Humble. Cause yeah, I stay in Houston and we have humble, so sometimes I be tripping over humble and humble. But life constantly humbles us in situations. And I just think, the end of last year, oh, this wig, Lord. The end of last year just humbled me and made me realize that, constantly prove that I cannot do this on my own. Like, I do need God to depend on. And then also, I believe like at the beginning of the year, I started, my thing is I use the Bible app, right? And I hate, if you use the Bible app, I think it's called YouVersion, but if you use the Bible app, they have like these streaks. So I hate when I miss a day and my streak go down to 1. Like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So all year last year, I would just read the Bible verse. It was kind of like I was just reading the Bible verse of the day just for my streak, and not necessarily tapping into it. Like, not only just it have the Bible verse, but it have the devotional, the prayer, and all that. So now I'm more intentional. Now I'm more intentional in the morning, and it's not just on some, oh, I'm just reading it to get a streak and to get my number up. Like, I'm reading it now to be intentional with my relationship with God. And while doing that, the crazy thing is, I think for January 1, do anyone ever say January 1? What? January 1. I guess that still makes sense. But January 1st, I believe either Jeremiah 29:11, and I don't ever, it's like only a few Bible verses where I actually know like the name of the book, the chapter number, and the verse number, but I think I'm still gonna get this wrong. But long story short, it was like, trust, I know the plans for your life. And for that to be like one of the first Bible verses, and it being aligned with my prayer that I had been praying into for that week, I was like, okay, God, like, I hear you. I hear you. I feel you. And I'm going to just trust you. At the end of the day, I can't trust these little nappy head little boys around here. So I'm going to just trust you. I'm going to trust that you know my desires. You know what I want. And I'm going to trust that, I pray that God will, you order my steps. I pay attention to the signs you drop, and it's going to all work out. And it always will. So, said all that to say, I definitely want to, if you come across this video, I want to hear about your walk with God, Jesus, whatever you subscribe to, the universe. I want to hear about your walk. I want to hear about the tools you use, whether if it's meditating for a day, going for a walk for a day, waking up and praying and using the Bible app. I used to also use Pray. I don't know if it's called Prayer or Pray, but that's another app. I used to be on there a couple of years ago, but I ain't really used it in a minute. I don't even know if it still exists as an app, but I would definitely love to hear some feedback. I would also love to hear like what y'all want to hear me talk about or what my channel should be about. Like I would love suggestions. Will it happen? We will see. But on that note, excuse me, not me burping on camera. I have been talking for like 30 minutes straight. I really hope this video uploads. But on that note, I just want to tell everybody, remember to keep God first. At the end of the day, there is a higher power and higher being than all of us. So keep God first, pray, and be kind. Be kind. And if you can't be kind to other people, be to yourself. Okay? Peace, love, and blessings. I'm Ashlo. You can find me on social media at social media. I am so tired. You can find me on social media, Instagram, what's the other one? TikTok, whatever, at ASHLOIAM. And this has been Ashlo for real. Peace. Peace, love, and blessings.